This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm Danny Vittori. Can you believe that Labor Day is just over a week away? The season of summer may be coming to a close, but organizations are fitting all they can into this last stretch of warmer weather. Highlights include the Arts and Culture Festival, the swearing in of new police officers, and the celebration of our senior citizens. On the opposite side of the age spectrum, NAGLY was our guest on the Lowdown, providing insight into all their resources for LGBTQ+ youth. So let's get started with the news for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. You wanted bigger, and you got it. The 2025 Lynn Arts and Culture Festival covered 11 locations, spanning the entire city and most of the day. LCTV could not visit all locations, but we were still able to speak with several participating artists and organizations.
The massive Lynn Arts and Culture Festival took place on August 9th, 2025, and when we say massive, we mean it. This year, the festival was spread across 11 locations. Each one featured various activities for people to enjoy as they made their way through downtown Lynn.
This year we really want to just amplify the fact that multiple community organizations are a part of this because we believe that a stronger collaboration is a great way to show the community what we have to offer here in Lynn.
There were so many locations that our crew didn't make it to all of them. High Rock Tower was open, and the public was invited up the steps to the observatory to see the telescope. While the Prime Building Vintage Market, Lucille Wine Shop, Ravenstone, and the Lydia Pinkham Studios opened their doors to shoppers. Beyond Walls was also offering tours of murals completed this year. Be sure to check out beyondwalls.org to learn more about this year's murals. The LCTV crew began their day at Raw Artworks, which featured art from youth at Raw, along with the opportunity to create something yourself.
So today at Raw, we're having a small interactive project where people can take art home. We put mirrors in the middle, and the question is, what do you want to reflect out into the world? We have reference sheets with words where you can take inspiration from to what resonates with you, while also looking at our art gallery where children make art throughout the year, and at the end of the year we showcase it for the whole neighborhood to see. Our theme this year was seen, heard, and amplified, so people made art on what makes them feel seen, heard, and amplified in their community.
After, we made our way across Central Square to the Lynn Museum and Art Center to learn more about Lynn's manufacturing history and hear from their featured artist.
Today at the Lynn Museum at 590 Washington Street, we've got lots of fun, all-free activities sponsored in part by the Highland Street Foundation. Come on down and you can have free Rich's Italian ices. We are also offering tours of the museum, specifically the Industry and Craft exhibit. But we're highlighting the wonderful new exhibit from artist Diana Reyes, a Colombian artist, with her new exhibit that opens today, and it will be closing the end of December. Diana is an abstract artist, and we'd love to have you come down and see Diana's artwork.
Mostly my art is in abstract. I love abstracts. Why? Because when you're painting in abstract, there is no limits. You can paint anything that you imagine.
We also want to highlight Joe Boyd, a local musician and troubadour who will be singing original songs about Lynn. Come on down and just enjoy walking around Lynn on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Our crew then made our way out back and through to Frederick Douglass Park, where the afternoon was filled with music and performances.
We're going to be having some amazing performances in Frederick Douglass Park today, everywhere from belly dancers from Bollywood X to CLDA. And we're going to be having the Salem Shimmy Mob. So if you got the moves, you're definitely going to be busting them today. We also have DJ Gonzalez on the ones and twos. And we have free face painting for the kids. We have free art for the families. And we are out here making a day of unity, because you can't spell community without unity. So we're out here mixing all the cultures, all the art forms, getting together and having a beautiful day here at Frederick Douglass Park.
Connected to the park was the studios at the Lynn Museum and Art Center. Inside, the galleries at Lynn Arts hosted some art-making activities and refreshments, along with the final day of their latest exhibit.
So we've put this display together specifically for the people of Lynn, just to show everyone that's not familiar with what went on in this building, what used to happen here. WFNX, it used to be upstairs, and Julie Kramer's photography. Most of this show is all set up around the artists that visited here in Lynn, upstairs at WFNX. So if anybody wants to stop by today, we've got some refreshments. There's an art bar back in the back, and I hope everybody comes by to take a visit.
Lastly, we stopped outside on Exchange Street for the Artisan Market, featuring over 24 local artists organized by Lynn Main Streets.
We're so happy to have everybody at the Lynn Arts and Cultural Festival. This year we are really excited because we shut down Exchange Street and we have local artists able to provide an ample amount of different arts and crafts for people to look at. And then there's multiple stops around the city of Lynn, all connected by a free trolley. And we love to shout out Creative Cities, and that is funded by MassDOT for that support and able to make this festival happen and be connected.
If you missed out this year, then don't worry. The Lynn Arts and Cultural Festival will be back next August, taking over downtown Lynn with the best of the city's cultural and art scenes.
Massachusetts designated Lynn as a green community. Therefore, the city is eligible to apply for grants that finance renewable energy and energy efficiency projects. In the most recent round of funding by the Department of Energy Resources Green Communities Division, Lynn received $250,000 for 3 projects in schools. Breaking it down, $108,000 will go to Lynn Classical for transformers, another $83,000 for transformers at Lynn Tech, with the remaining $58,000 funding LED lighting at Harrington Elementary. These projects will cost a total of $571,000. In addition to the grant funding, Lynn will be using $182,000 in utility company incentives and $140,000 in solar credits. The best part? This results in no city funds being used for the initiatives. Additionally, once the installations are complete, the city will save an estimated $40,000 a year in energy costs. As stated by Mayor Gerald Nicholson, quote, "Thanks to these grants and resources, we're able to make key upgrades that will ensure our schools are greener for years to come, resulting in long-term savings for the city." On Tuesday, August 19th, the Healey-Driscoll administration announced the approval of 18 new career technical education programs in 16 high schools. These programs will combine to educate 900 more students a year across career learning connectivity. One such program is coming right here to the city with the addition of biotechnology to the Lynn Vocational Technical Institute's curriculum. Other programs being introduced across the state include aviation, robotics, marine service technology, and animal science. As stated by Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, these programs will give students the hands-on experience and skills they need to break into the fast-growing fields of science and technology. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education recently completed a market analysis and updated their framework to ensure that students have up-to-date knowledge and training they need to be hired here in Massachusetts. It is hard to believe there are only a few weeks left in August. To this end, the Grace United Methodist Church of Lynn is holding their last couple community cookouts. Open to all residents and taking place rain or shine, cookouts are held on Thursday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. through the end of the month. LCTV was at the most recent installation to capture this free, family-friendly event.
If you're ever looking for a home-cooked meal, complete with friendly conversation, then the Grace United Methodist Church of Lynn is the place for you. Every Thursday, rain or shine, they host a free community cookout open to all in the community. The weather was less than cooperative last week, but this did not bother participants or organizers, who simply moved into one of the church's recreational rooms. Featuring burgers, hot dogs, desserts, and several homemade salads, there was something for everyone at this event. The feeling of community was evident as people shared stories with friends and family in a fun setting. Grace UMC of Lynn will continue holding these free community cookouts on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. through the end of August. For LCTV News, I'm Danny Vittori.
The UV pilot program was officially shut down on August 18th, after it was determined that ample data had been collected to determine the success of the project. A collaborative effort between the City of Lynn and the Town of Swampscott, the program was ended 2 weeks earlier than scheduled to stay within the originally approved budget and help financial aspects of this initiative going forward. According to a joint statement, project teams had collected enough data to evaluate if UV would be an effective, permanent solution for the pollution on Kings Beach. It went on to state, quote, "The pilot program has been a strong collaboration, and we are proud of all the work done by all partners involved to achieve a cleaner, more accessible beach for both of our communities," end quote. Community organizations were also heavily involved in the entire process. Liz Smith, founder of Save Kings Beach, and Chris Mancini, executive director of Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, both expressed their optimism for the results. Mancini went on to say that he believes water quality did improve and more people were able to swim safely this summer. Data will be evaluated over the next 4 to 6 weeks to determine next steps. Preliminary elections are coming up in just 2 weeks, and campaigning is ramping up. Current school committee members and candidates were given the opportunity to answer questions and give their pitch at the Millennial Latino Project's Connect for Community Meet the School Committee candidates. Last Saturday the 16th, El Centro was full of resource tables, residents, and candidates, designed as a more informal, casual way for community members to have conversations and ask questions of those running for office.
Thank you guys. This is our second Connect for Community for this year. We held it in March for the city council members, so now we just thought it just made more sense for the school committee, as it's so important for our kids in the school to be engaged.
But I think the role of a school committee member is to be a voice of the community and be a voice on the committee and be able to, bring that to the superintendent, bring that to the mayor, bring that to, the schools, and be able to advocate for the things that the community wants and the things that the community needs. I think an example of that, actually, there was a student advisory committee, council where the students are, coming to us, and they're going to be involved in policy making. They're going to be involved in, the decisions we're making as a committee. But I think another big part of it is support the administration and make sure that they're making the choices that the community wants and support them.
Growing up in Lynn, you get to see the city grow and evolve, and to allow these opportunities for engagement is so crucial, especially as a school committee member, because for me, I'm a first generation low income Latino. This job is the best job you could ever have. It is an honor to be on the school committee. And that's why I made my life's work to make sure that our social emotional learning initiatives never fell through a budget crack. Every term you were hearing firsthand that we needed to enhance our social emotional learning initiatives. We need to make sure that we provide a 21st century robust game plan to make sure our kids have the skills and the path and trajectories to be successful.
So I have 20 years of experience. I'm a former high school principal, now district administrator for Chelsea Public Schools. I think for me, what really drives my work and my mission is my lived experience. I am a former English language learner. I grew up in the housing projects. I grew up on housing WIC, food stamps. I grew up on all of that. And for me, it really has been, I would say what really drove my mission in this work is the educators that supported me. And really making sure that students are getting what they need, that there are equitable practices within schools, that there are restorative practices within schools.
I am a court officer, Lynn Juvenile Court Officer. I've been a court officer for 30 years. A majority of those years I spent working at Lynn Juvenile Court. So those are my work kids. I love them like they're my own kids. And I work alongside of them during their most difficult times. And I've seen so many of them slip through the cracks. Even though we have to acknowledge their behavior, I always say there's a story behind every behavior. And we need to get to know this story. Because once you get to know that story, they begin to trust you, and they believe in you. They know that you care for them. And then they begin to want to thrive. And then when they want to thrive, that's even better.
The Massachusetts Department of Transportation announced that as of August 19th, it has commenced the installation of a fixed work zone on North Shore Road, more commonly known as Route 1A in Revere and Lynn, over the General Edwards Drawbridge. This fixed work zone will remain in place until all construction is completed, which is estimated to be fall of 2025. During such time, contractors will replace the existing deteriorated concrete median barrier with a temporary steel barrier. They will also be repairing structural deterioration at one location beneath the bridge. As for how traffic will be affected, Route 1A northbound will be reduced from 1 to 2 lanes on a continuous basis, beginning at the Linway on-ramp in Revere and ending near Hanson Street until all work is fully completed, while Route 1A southbound will drop from 1 to 2 lanes on a temporary basis, Sunday through Thursday evenings between the hours of 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. to replace the median barrier. Once this piece of construction is completed, contractors will switch to daytime construction, and 2 lanes will once again be available going southbound. Who doesn't love outdoor movies? There have been several in Lynn throughout the summer, most recently at Barry Park with the showing of Sonic 3.
So we're at Barry Field. This is our second year hosting the movie night that Lynn offers. It's a great way to bring the community to the park and just get everyone together. What's your favorite part about movie night?
Playing football.
Playing football, of course. The movie's good though, too.
Yeah.
They did different parks prior, and last year they approached us to do Barry, and we worked so hard to make the park just a great place to come to that we thought it was an important thing to do.
Sponsored by West Lynn Little League, there was free popcorn, snacks, and plenty of room for lawn games. The Lynn Police Department headquarters on Washington Street was the place to be last Tuesday the 19th. 9 new officers took their oath to officially become police officers for the city of Lynn. The room was full of family and friends supporting their loved ones as they take this significant step forward in their careers to protect and serve.
I can't tell you how pleased we are here in the Lynn Police Department to have these 9 officers come to join us and to provide safety for this community. It means so much to have new officers who have made the commitment that they have made over 6 months, the studying, the working out, the getting up early, getting home late, completely disrupting their lives. It's because they believe in something and they believe in being a part of something. And we're grateful that they made that commitment and it has brought them here today. So we also know they don't get here alone. That all of you have listened to them complain, that you supported them, that you've been there to help them in any way you can. With that said, I just want to congratulate you all on the good work you've done and the hard work you've done, and once again say that we're really, really happy to have you here.
I am so honored to be here to congratulate this group on behalf of the City of Lynn. We're so honored to have you here. I just want to say that we are so grateful that you have made this commitment to our residents, and I know how much time and effort and work that has gone into this moment, and I appreciate you doing that. But more than anything, the leap of faith that you're taking to enter a profession of service to our community.
I state your name.
I, Lynn Lowdown,
Do solemnly swear and affirm.
do solemnly swear and affirm
That I will faithfully and impartially.
that I will faithfully and impartially
Discharge and perform all duties.
discharge and perform all duties
Incumbent upon me.
incumbent upon me
As a police officer for the City of Lynn.
as a police officer for the City of Lynn,
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability
And understanding.
and understanding.
I agree to the rules and regulations.
I agree to the rules and
Of
regulations
the Constitution.
of the Constitution,
The laws of this Commonwealth.
the laws of this Commonwealth,
The City Charter.
the City Charter,
And all ordinances for the City of Lynn.
and all ordinances for the City of Lynn.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Lynn Arts
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
That I will uphold.
that I will uphold,
Affirm and defend.
affirm, and
The
defend
Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Earlier this week, on the 18th, Governor Maura Healey announced that 10 cities received funding to support sufficient staffing during emergency situations. These funds are distributed annually through the Massachusetts Municipal Public Safety Staffing Program. to communities that meet strict criteria set forth by the legislature. The City of Lynn is one of the recipients, receiving $634,000 in funding for the police department. Before, municipalities were required to spend the funds over a 12-month period, but due to the expedited nature of this round, they have up to 17 months, from August 2025 through December of 2026. This allows police and fire departments with immediate needs to address them as efficiently as possible. Mayor Nicholson expressed his gratitude for the funding, saying, quote, "This crucial funding will allow us to address safety needs, ensuring our officers can enhance their impact in protecting and serving our residents and keeping our community safe." August 21st was Senior Citizen Day, and the Lynn Senior Center went all out to celebrate, including matching t-shirts, free ice cream and blood pressure checks, and performances by a live band.
Good morning, everyone. I am here on behalf of the City of Lynn to say Happy Senior Citizens Day.
And I want to thank everyone who was involved in making this day possible. If you are part of the card writing group that keeps seniors connected when they can't come to the center, raise your hand. If you are a dominoes player or a pool player at the Lynn Senior Center, raise your hand. Because we are all connected, and it is coming together that makes us whole and great. And this Senior Center Day is a wonderful day to bring all our groups and clubs together. So I thank you all for that. I also want to thank the Department of Public Health for coming down and assisting us, the COM team, the Brigham Women's Medical Van, the Lynn Police.
It is such an honor to be here to celebrate with you all, to celebrate you all and the amazing community that you have and that you hold here. It is a bright spot for our entire city. In a moment of profound difficulty in this world, to see the joy and community that you all have cultivated and share with one another here brightens my spirit every time I see it, holds a really powerful example for this entire community about how to take care of one another, how to find what's meaningful in life, and we're all so excited to be able to support what you all are doing, and hope you have a fantastic celebration today.
With just over a month left in the 2025 MLB regular season, it is proving to be a race to the finish. The Red Sox currently hold the second wild card spot, but 2 games are all that separate the 3 current wild card teams. Boston won the first in a 4-game series with New York, 6-3 on the 21st. Newly signed first baseman Nate Lowe drove in the game-winning run on a double to center field in the 6th. But rookie Roman Anthony also came through in a big way, knocking a 2-run homer into the second deck of Yankee Stadium in the top of the 8th for some much-needed insurance. The world is a complex place, and new challenges are being introduced every day. NAGLY was introduced to give LGBTQ youth a safe space to be themselves and discuss some of these far-reaching impacts. Their executive director is next up on the Lowdown, with his take on the importance of providing these resources. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. And today we welcome on NAGLY, and we have Tony Leone, the program director for the acronym North Shore Alliance of LGBTQ plus Youth. I did have to read that because it is a long one.
It is.
But
it
I
is
got
mouthful. Yep. You got it.
Thank you so much for coming on, making the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And NAGLY's main home base is in Salem.
Correct.
You do have, like you said, kind of a branch in Lynn, but would you be able to talk a bit about your mission, how you got started, all that?
Yeah, so NAGLY started in 1992 in the basement of a church. We moved up to the attic of a church and then back down to that basement of the church for 26 years. We were fortunate enough to get our permanent home, at least for the time being, in the Witch City Mall in downtown Salem. We've been thriving since 2014 in that space. We've built up a pretty large community, a pretty large plethora of programs and services, all free, no insurance needed. Any youth who identify within the LGBTQI plus umbrella or might think they do or feel that they do can access all of our services from middle school up to age 23.
Oh, wait, so you answered my next question of youth. So what do you qualify as youth up to 23?
So middle school up to 23, we do have a sub-program for youth and parents from pre-K technically to elementary school, but the youth do have to attend with a parent or guardian. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why is it always, it's always a church basement?
I know.
Why is it so many?
Always. I know. We still go back there every so often. It's a pretty cool space. It's a big community center, but at that time in 2013, 2014, we knew we needed a larger space. So we're fortunate enough to have 5,200 square feet now, which is pretty large.
That's big. And it's great that you were expanding to the point where you needed more space, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I know one point I have to make was very impressive. It's you and one other main staff person, but then you really rely on volunteers, which is amazing.
We do. So we have around 32 to 35 active volunteers, ranging from adult advisors, which are a little bit of a stipend position, so you do get a little bit of money, reinforcement, I guess, for helping out and being committed, safe and supportive adult for these youth. But we range all the way from events volunteers to general volunteers to internships, both college, high school, postgraduate degrees. So we have a large pool that we can pull from, which is great.
And because you serve 42 communities, so you definitely need the help.
We do. We have youth accessing our services from around 38 to 40 within the greater North Shore. Some from as far as Wilmington, Haverhill, Lawrence, pretty far reach.
So if anyone was interested in volunteering, getting involved, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so they would just reach out to me at tony@nagly.org. Feel free to reach out. You can schedule an appointment. We'd give you a tour. I know you mentioned we do have the NAGLY Lynn satellite too, and we are working on kind of staffing that up for the upcoming school year. So if you're interested in being a part of the Lynn community, feel free to reach me as well, and we can definitely touch base and figure out what that looks like.
And you have such an extensive range of services: mental health, art classes, baking, theater, and that's only a few of the things that you mentioned. So why is it so important to have such a wide range?
Yeah, so we really try to meet youth where they're at, right? Their basic needs, right? What we call in the mental health field like their baseline, right? Where they're at. And we know that a lot of youth need access to care in more creative ways, right? So we introduce art therapy, we introduce creative expression, we do some mindfulness, we try to make sure that every youth that walks into that space feels like they're at home, right? So whether it be group counseling or what we call chill and chat, right, which is a little bit less intense, right, than calling it group counseling, we're able to meet that youth or that group of youth where they're at within that time period.
And you personally, how did you get involved? I'm the program director.
Yeah, so I started volunteering in 2017, 2018, kind of worked my way up, became an adult advisor, and in 2020, we obviously had to shift to Zoom during the COVID pandemic, and we were able to shift within a week of shutting down. So we were one of the first organizations to really go online and spearhead all of our programs.
Impressive.
Yeah, so in 2021, we submitted a grant for capacity building, and I was able to be the first program director for NAGLY, which I'm honored to do every day.
It is. It's fantastic. I think you can tell how much you're into it, how much they are. And do you know offhand roughly how many youth you do serve?
Sure. So we serve about 150 youth a week. Those are reoccurring visits, right? So those are youth that might be accessing different programs throughout the week. We have all age-specific days, which is great.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, we have about 400 youth within our kind of span, our active youth. So I guess we're considered a small school. Right? That's kind of the way I think of it.
That's a good comparison. Yeah. And one thing that it's really a focus on, what you mentioned on your website, is NAGLY being a safe space, especially now in certain political climates that are happening. You know, that is such a crucial part of your mission. Yep. And why is that so important for these youth to have that space where they can go be themselves?
Yeah, I mean, we really hone in on the safe component, right? We want youth to make sure that they feel a level of just generalized safety, right? Emotional, physical, right? Whatever that looks like. But we also want to lean into the brave model too, right? And I know bravery, right? That's a difficult, concept, right, for a lot of us, right? But at the same time, it is important to lean into kind of resiliency and vulnerability and maybe discomfort in a safe and supportive environment. That's how we build, that's how we prosper, and that's how we continue to get those supports that we all need.
Mm-hmm. And I'll ask, is there any piece of your job that's a favorite part of yours? Is it working with the youth? Is it getting to build new programming? What is it?
Yeah, so I come from like a direct support field, so I'm also a counselor kind of on the side. So I love group support. I love being around the youth. I love making sure that I'm always out on the floor, out on the milieu, just kind of walking around, making sure that the youth know that they can reach out to any one of us at any given time. So honestly, anytime the youth are in the space, that's really my favorite time of the day and part of the job.
And you mentioned too that there's specific days where certain ages can come, so it helps keep it a little more organized. Have youth of the same age. What do you know what those days are?
Yeah, so Monday's middle school, so that's specifically for technically ages 10 to 14, but we give some leeway there. Tuesdays are teen and young adult, so there is a mismatch of 14 to 17 and then 18 to 23. However, the young adults that we do serve kind of act as mentors almost organically to our teens, which I think is really special. And then Wednesdays are community-based, so those are open to anywhere ages 11 to 23. Thursdays are 18 plus, which is cool. It gives some other groups a chance to utilize our space as well and run some 18 plus groups. And then Fridays are our free for all. Fridays are really fun. Yeah, Fridays we could see anywhere from 50 to 60 youth in the space, and that's ranging. Yeah, that's the wide age range from 11 to 23. Then we also have some weekend programs as well.
And it must be interesting too, especially when you have that wide age range, how the youth interact with each other. Like you said, some of the older ones, some of them a little bit mentoring a little bit, they fall into that role. That must be interesting how they all support each other.
It is. It's really special, I think, to make sure that we have younger youth that see maybe older youth or young adults, what their succession looks like, right? What their progression looks like. Lived experience, I think, is really, really important within the walls of NAGLY, and that's a great way to make sure that we give back to the community.
I guess looking forward, is the programs that you offer, does it operate on the same schedule as school? Like you mentioned that there's some time off in the summer, or there's shifts to the schedule itself.
Yeah, so we actually add more programming during the summer. We do have a week off in the beginning of July just to kind of recoup from June. It's a busy month for us. Yep. Obviously Pride is all year, but it's still a busy month for us. So we do try to align pretty well with the school schedule, whether it be the surrounding North Shore towns or Salem, where we're located or headquartered. But for the most part, we have reoccurring programming almost every week, every day of the year in some capacity, which is pretty special. But we do adapt to the school schedules.
And for youth themselves, if they want to learn more, they can go to the website, but can they also just kind of show up during one of those times, speak to one of the people there? Yep,
youth are more than welcome to pop by anytime we're open. Even if we're not open and you see one of the lights on, come ring the doorbell, we're probably there. If a youth needs access to services and referrals and stuff like that, they can always reach out to me anytime. My email's always available. But yeah, they can schedule an appointment, or they can just come in, drop in, and participate in all of our programs and services we offer.
And that's a great piece of flexibility, too, because of how busy everyone is, right? As you were talking about that.
Yep, correct.
Everyone has 50 million things happening.
Yes, we try to make it as accessible and easy as possible.
Well, you definitely do, and I say you can tell the passion, the way you work on it, and I realized I've gone through all my questions, but was there anything else that you wanted to mention or touch upon before I wrapped it up?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware. We have a lot of youth and young adults who are in the midst of mental health crises, right? We have a lot of youth who are going through a lot right now. The climate is tricky, right? And a lot of our youth are vulnerable. So making sure that if you are an adult within the community, just be a support, right? Be a strong ally, be a positive presence within our youth's lives, because it really, truly does make a positive impact.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you just nailed that. I don't even know how to follow that. You can tell you just nailed it with that. But I want to thank you again so much, Tony, for coming on, discussing this really important support within Lynn and all these communities.
Thank you so much, Danny. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And of course, check out their website or head down if you want to learn more. But for now, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. The final Friday celebration by the Lynn Museum and Arts Center will take place on August 29th. Rhythm Royale will once again close out the series, and this is one you do not want to miss. The museum, in collaboration with The Flavor Continues, will be hosting a live dance battle, with the winner taking home $500. There will also be vendors around the park and a special guest performance. If that was not enough, this final Friday will also serve as a backpack giveaway and the launch of an art library. As always, this entire event is free for the community and will take place from 6 to 9 p.m. at Frederick Douglass Park. The start of Labor Day weekend also signals the beginning of the 2025 St. George Greek Festival. Taking place on August 29th, 30th, and 31st, at 54 South Common Street, this is New England's premier Greek festival. Attendees will be treated to homemade Greek cuisine and pastries, a Greek cafe and marketplace, as well as live Greek dancing performances under the stars and a dedicated kids' game area. Concerned Citizens of Lynn is once again partnering with Running United Nationwide and the Lynn Housing Authority for the 4th annual Back to School Community Cookout and School Supply Giveaway. Head down to the Kerwin Circle basketball court from noon to 4 p.m. on August 30th for a day of fun, free food, and back-to-school necessities. It will also be bringing back three-point shooting, king of the court, and free throw competitions, as well as bouncy houses, face painting, raffles, and the water balloon battle. This concludes another episode of the LCTV News. I know this was a great deal of information, but stay with me for just a few more minutes. If you have questions or would like to learn more about the events mentioned above, as well as view coverage of past events, both community and government, head to lyntv.org. For the most up-to-date announcements, press releases, and information, follow us on social media at Lynn Community TV. For those of you who prefer your news in smaller visual formats, then Lynn Community Television on YouTube is the place for you. I'm Danny Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.